Good evening, Midwest Star Wars Fanatics. We are back. Star Wars Nerd 574. Greg here with my co-host Travis.
Hello.
We are glad to be back, everybody. It's good to talk Star Wars. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. You know, this new show popped up on Disney Plus this week, and we got some trailers and stuff that we're going to go over. First of all, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, TRG Toys and Collectibles. Make sure to head over to trgtoys.com for your collectibles needs. Star Wars, Marvels, wrestling, you name it. They have it there. So make sure you check them out. Also, you can follow us at the hashtag show. Of course, me at Star Wars Nerd 574 and Travis at the Indiana Sloan for our handles there. So welcome, everybody. It's good to be back. It's good to be live again and get the show rolling again. I know Travis and I will be heading down to Cincinnati this weekend. We'll be there on Saturday. Hopefully, we'll talk to a few of the Boba Fett actors. Be a good time going down there. But right now, before we get into Andor, because I know a lot of people probably kind of want to talk about that, and don't worry, we're not going to go into too much spoilers, but we are going to talk a little bit about our thoughts on the show this week, and then start our normal shows with that as well. So with that, I know we're going to sit here and talk a little bit about Tales of the Jedi. So first thing we're going to do is sit back, let's watch the trailer, get refreshed on it, and we'll go from there.
Everywhere there is life. But you must face death. Honor it. Do not fear it. Jedi. Ahsoka is Jedi.
The best way I can protect you is to teach you how to protect yourself.
Master Dooku.
I want to bring peace and order to the galaxy.
Master, stop!
It is the only way you will truly have victory.
My Padawan.
Again.
Again.
Dooku, stand down.
I'm tired of fighting.
I've been warning them about the coming darkness.
Let's hope all that training pays off.
And who might you be?
All right, so awesome trailer. I know for people who got to see this panel at Star Wars Celebration, we actually got to see the Ahsoka part of this first episode. So obviously we won't spoil anything for you guys on here. But it definitely it's worth the wait. I cannot wait for this series to come out. I don't know about you, Travis, but just after seeing that, I hope we see more Tales of the Jedi series where they like just kind of pinpoint a few Jedi here and there. I mean, what do you think on that? Is that something that you would like to see from this after seeing that first Ahsoka?
Yeah, I think this is a really cool, opportunity to touch on areas within Star Wars that haven't been explored already with the Clone Wars series or the prequels or the movies. Obviously in this particular 6 episodes that are coming out kind of in the first season, we'll call it. We got 3 Ahsoka and 3 Dooku episodes. So and as Filoni talked about at Celebration, and they've talked about it, at D23 as well, is going to touch on each episode will touch on a different part of their lives. So it's not going to be all, Ahsoka young or Duke, so it'll be Ahsoka young, Ahsoka Clone Wars animated series timeline as well, because, Matt Lanter's back as Anakin Skywalker. So he confirmed that as well. So it'd be kind of a really cool opportunity, I think, for them. I know Filoni was really excited when he was talking about it at Celebration. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they don't pick other Jedi. I mean, Mace Windu, they could do Mace Windu, how he became a Jedi. There's so many characters, Quinlan Voss. They could get into so many characters and do these little, short story arcs with them. I think it'd be really really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping that we see that. Like Mace Windu would be pretty neat. Even ones that you like. It's just it kind of like made you just kind of sit back, and it's going to be dark. That's one of the things that Filoni said at Celebration during the panel. This isn't going to be just your kid show. And after seeing the first part of the Ahsoka one, I mean, it wasn't super dark, but I could see where he was going from, trying not to give away any spoilers, without going through. But this isn't going to be the typical animated. This is more of the Clone Wars stuff that we know in the past, is what this series kind of reminds me of with that animation.
Yeah, and especially with the Dooku stuff. I mean, one would think if we're going to show kind of how Dooku fell to the dark side, there's going to be some darker moments. And I mean, you could almost kind of see it on Filoni's face when he was talking about it. Would be like, yeah, if you come in think it's a kid's show, he just kind of started just laughing to himself, like, you're going to be surprised. This is coming from like some really dark stories and stuff, even more dark potentially than some of the stuff that was in earlier seasons of Clone Wars. I know season 7 there towards the end got, fairly dark with the whole Order 66 thing. But yeah, definitely at first wasn't sure if I'd be too excited about this. Again, it's a lot of Jedi stuff. I'm not the biggest Jedi fan, but I mean, the combination of the trailer, getting to see that first episode, I was like, okay, yep, even though it's a cartoon, like you said, this is some really great storytelling.
Yeah, but then of course when this popped up, obviously in the trailer, everyone was like, "Move over, Baby Yoda." Now we got Baby Ahsoka. But it is really neat just to see this storyline, see how it's going to evolve, and really, you guys will be surprised. I mean, it's definitely a story that's worth telling in the Star Wars timeline, and a great time to be a Star Wars fan because we're getting so much cool stuff, with this. But then also talking about, like you said, Mace Windu, Count Dooku, Qui-Gon Jinn, we're getting those characters all back again. So, I mean, that's like, it's just, we're getting the touch on stories that we've been wanting for a while, and we're getting it animation style. I'm sorry, not anime. I think Star Wars Vision is there. But I don't know. I just I'm getting chills thinking about it, just because I think about us at Celebration when we saw this trailer. I mean, to me, I love Ahsoka to death, but I'm so excited to see this path for Count Dooku. So I mean, I don't know. You probably might agree.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Not that I dislike the character Ahsoka, but we've had a lot of really good character development with Ahsoka from Clone Wars and the last season of that, and Rebels, and now in the Mandalorian. So we've got a pretty good feel for who Ahsoka is. It'll be interesting to see kind of the younger, how she maybe got picked up to become a Jedi, and take it off the temple and everything like that. But really the Dooku stuff to me is really what I'm looking forward to, because it's an area that we know he falls to the dark side. But beyond that, there's probably some stuff in the EU, in the books and comics I'm not super familiar with. So maybe the story's probably been told. And who knows, the Tales of the Jedi may contradict that, and people will be in an outrage over it, or things like usual. But I think seeing kind of Dooku's story before we are introduced to him in the prequel movies will be very interesting to see.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get introduced to another new character in this trailer. And all it says is Inquisitor. But this guy's, pretty bad, what looking. I'm trying to watch what I say because, it seems like we get banned for certain words anymore. But this Inquisitor looks pretty sweet. So I'm anxious to see, what we're going to get from this person, and just the battles and stuff that we see going on. And it's definitely an interesting time for us Star Wars fans getting, new stuff. Like I can see this being a pretty awesome Hot Toys or Black Series figure as well. So this one, I'm very intrigued to see if it's somebody we know who it is, or if it's a new character. So
yeah, I mean, I guess too, based on the timeline. So we know that we have a young Ahsoka episode. We have one that still has Anakin Skywalker, so that'd be kind of a Clone Wars time period episode. Inquisitors really, I guess, would not have been introduced into the world or the galaxy until post episode 3.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to this potentially gets to be an episode between end of Clone Wars and Rebels, potentially, to kind of explain, okay, what was Ahsoka doing during that time period, which I guess it gives another kind of unexplored area. So it's a good way for Filoni to kind of throw in a little storyline to kind of bridge the gaps between the various other series that Ahsoka's appeared in.
Yeah. And for you watching out there tonight, let us know what are your thoughts on the Tales of the Jedi and the characters that we're getting. And if you would like to see, even if not seen it yet, I can tell you, I know I do. And I'm sure, like I said, Travis agrees. I'm hoping they do more stories of Jedi as we go through the future here. So exciting times. Jedi coming out next month. I'm very excited about that. But that's not all we have heading our way. Now, obviously, this one got pushed back a little bit. The next one we're going to talk about, and we're going to watch a trailer. We're going to watch some trailers tonight, talk some Star Wars, and just have a good time. But another panel we were lucky enough to attend was the Bad Batch panel. Very excited about this. I'm actually feeling more excited about this than I was the first season after seeing the trailer. So before we get into much more, Travis, let's watch the trailer real quick go from there. Sorry there, hit the wrong button, everybody. And now
You can buy your freedom. You can have a future. Isn't that what you're after?
We're already free.
Clearly, you're not paying attention to what's happening out there.
It is time for a new era. There are others out there who need our help. We'll take all the allies we can get.
Let's go.
Let's get to work.
All right, so another awesome trailer. I actually am digging the music from that trailer.
Yeah.
But very excited about this. Like I said, everybody, we got the chance to sit in a panel at Star Wars Celebration and just watching, D. Bradley Baker actually perform a scene and changing his voice to all the clones. It was just unreal just seeing that. But Travis, what are your thoughts? I mean, this trailer shows a lot of great stuff, and there's actually some stuff, and I will not spoil it again. There was some stuff that we saw at Celebration that was not in this trailer. So they had a different trailer for us at Celebration, which was pretty exciting. But Travis, what were your thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah, I mean, the trailer is great. Definitely gets me, like you said, kind of pumped up for season 2 when it comes out. At the time when we were at Celebration, the idea was that fall of this year, the second season of Bad Batch would be coming out. However, as they announced at D23, this actually got pushed back to January of next year.
Yeah.
Which I guess in a way sort of makes sense. I think we had talked about this once before. I was kind of questioning, okay, Andor's coming out end of September. That has 12 episodes, and how's this going to all kind of fit together? They're going to overlap, things like that. So it's a high quality problem to have. We're going to go from Andor through basically the rest of this year, then right at the beginning of next year, Bad Batch season. Then we've got Mandalorian season 3. We've got a lot of stuff coming. So we got a kind of nonstop stream of Star Wars stuff. But I think this is the second season looks great. I really like the costume, the armor changes for the Bad Batch. I'm sure, in a way, it's probably done to help sell more figures and more toys and Black Series and things like that. But to me, I guess in a way, it kind of shows them moving, kind of from a character development standpoint, moving away from being Clone Force 99, what they were before, be saying, hey, we're no longer that. We're now the Bad Batch. We're a different group. We're kind of how Mando and the Mandalorian changed his armor to kind of show he's moving, in a new direction. I think the Bad Batch is kind of doing the same thing here.
Yeah, there's a couple things I'm very interested in. Obviously, to see what goes on with Crosshair. Obviously, that's going to be, is he ever going to come back to his brothers, or is he, done? Is he going to actually see what the Empire is doing? And then the other thing is still on my mind is Omega. So we know she's a clone. We know she's pretty much the clone sister of Boba Fett. And that had to have been brought up for a reason. So, what is that reason? We don't know. But hopefully we'll find out, or if it's just some of those things they just threw out there, kind of a little misdirection and just kind of say, okay, this is it. But as we can see here, like you said, the armor, I think the armor is pretty cool. Obviously we'll see a new wave, like you said, the Black Series figures and everything else. But there's just so much going on that I'm just excited about, like you said, we got going, the animated stuff I love, like that they can keep cranking it out. You can just have so much and get so much more detail with certain things. So again, this is one series, and again, everybody, if you're watching, let us know what you think. Obviously we just talked about Tales of the Jedi, and now the Bad Batch season 2. Let us know what your thoughts are. What are you excited about, and things like that. So now we're going to go into probably one of the most highly anticipated, I can't talk right now, shows coming up. No, it's not another Obi-Wan. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's the Mandalorian season 3. I'm excited about this. I'll get into that here in a little bit. Why? Because I finally think the path we're going down, and obviously the trailer kind of shows that. But thankfully, they finally released the teaser. And then I don't know, Travis, if there was more at Celebration that they showed that. Again, they like to do that to us. I don't know, because I missed it at Celebration. I didn't get to see it. But we're going to watch the Mandalorian season 3 teaser right now.
This is the one that you saved? You are as its father. A clan of 2. But you have removed your helmet. Then you are a Mandalorian no more.
Your cult fractured our people. Where were you then? Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian?
All right, kid. Hang on. You ready for an adventure?
Hey. All right. So I don't know what it is with these trailers, but the music that they're picking for these trailers is pumping me up. Like I'm just ready to go do a Star Wars marathon just because of the music I'm listening to. Pretty awesome sounds there and everything. But Travis, before I get into my excitement, as you can tell, I'm like processing everything because I'm still so excited about what's coming. What were your thoughts on this? Obviously, you saw it at Celebration.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of time to digest it. I'm glad though they finally showed it to everybody else, so I could talk about it without feeling like I was spoiling anything. This season looks like it's going to be awesome. I mean, the beginning and talking about, showing Mandalore, that shot of the ship flying and the kind of the glassed over, like Moff Gideon talked about how Mandalore had been turned to glass during the purge, I think is what they referred to it as in season 1. And then just more Mandalorians fighting, it's going to be really cool to see. Another thing too that I noticed in the trailer is a real brief, if you blinked, you missed it, but they definitely showed it. Dr. Pershing from the first season as well. That was kind of an open-ended thread that I expected maybe it to come back in season 2, and it did a little bit with the facility there on Navarro where they found the tubes and the weird, creature things in them. So be very curious to see kind of how he factors into the story and where that's going. But the Mandalore stuff with Bo-Katan looks great, and R4. I'm glad to see old R4 kind of getting his time to shine after having a bad motivator there in A New Hope. He's gets to maybe ride shotgun there with Mando.
So yeah, it's just like all that stuff. There's so much going on, and I think we're finally, and this is my thing. I think we're finally getting to where I thought the Mandalorian was going to be about, because everybody who knows me knows that I kind of was like, okay, it was good. Mandalorian so far has been, I think, the best series that Disney Plus has put on so far. But it was Daddy Lorian watching Baby Yoda and doing all these tasks and everything and trying to get him back, blah blah blah. Now we're getting into where it looks like we're going to see a bunch of Mandalorians kicking each other's butts. We're going to see kind of like the the different Mandalore clans, and obviously Mando's going to realize that things are different. When he gets there, they're who knows? I mean, Death Watch, all those clans that were around. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes, because technically right now he is the ruler of Mandalore. He has the Darksaber. He won it in battle. The only way someone else takes this over, and that's what I'm wondering is, like, when he gets in there, does he tell Bo-Katan to get out of my seat, or is it going to be one of these weird things where all of a sudden they get along? But I kind of see him and Boba Fett starting their own clan. This is my call now, everybody. I'm putting this out here now. Boba Fett and Mando are going to start their own clan. So I think it'll be interesting to see which way this goes. Obviously, we see some more Mandalorians. Now, are these people from the original group that helped him in the first one? Are these some of his recruits? But pretty cool armor. So excited. You can tell I'm getting all giddy. Like, this is what Star Wars is about, everybody, is having fun, enjoying something that you love, and I think they're really going to knock this one out of the park for us. Again, it's just, I really think it's there. But yeah, you're right. The cloning stuff, you got Dr. Pershing that, is working on the cloning for, obviously this is where we saw our little Snokes in the chambers, or I think that's what they were.
Yeah.
So much going on in the storyline. And I really, really, really hope that all these series lead into one big movie. That's my dream.
I remember. I think it was D23. Actually, it might have been in not Star Wars, but Disney Investor Day, in 2021. Maybe it feels like forever ago, but that's back when they talked about, Rangers of the New Republic was going to be a thing, which of course that's on some indefinite hiatus, along with Rogue Squadron. It seems like a bunch of other stuff, the Lando series that they announced that hasn't got any traction. But I remember Kathleen Kennedy mentioning something like that they were kind of taking a page out of the Marvel playbook, that a lot of this stuff could eventually lead up to some sort of team up, which really they've already kind of done to a degree with, in the Book of Boba Fett, Mando and Ahsoka showing up there. So like all these characters show up in each other's series, which is really cool to me. They're not just like, it's just not the Boba Fett show and the Mandalorian show and the Ahsoka show. It's just all part of this same universe and this timeline that they're filling in with characters. Yeah, and I did think it was one of the was kind of interesting talking about Bo-Katan and how that's going to go with Mando in ruling Mandalore. I didn't really think about it till just now, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Darksaber made any appearance at all in that trailer, which seems kind of strange in a way, because that's just a really cool visual thing to show off for like a trailer. So again, I'm not saying that he's going to like give it up or it's going to be lost or anything, but just I did notice that the Darksaber did not show up in the trailer at all.
And I think it's going to be actually, I mean, God, I hope this doesn't go this way, but I mean, technically now you got a little Mando with probably will have armor and stuff. And what if he takes out his dad or beats somebody with the Force and takes the Darksaber? Then you got little baby Yoda ruler. Like, I don't know. So many scary options there. Let's not think that. But something with this trailer I really did love, and then somebody commented here, and I'm sorry, all it says is Facebook user, but yes. hey, it's Bobby Freak. So awesome. Hopefully this is him. Hopefully it's not a little misdirection where it's like, oh, this is somebody else. This is his brother Babu, or somebody, so, but I think it's pretty cool to see him in there. Again, some good stuff heading our way. I'm excited about the Mandalorian season 3 because we didn't see, is Boba Fett going to be in this? Is Ahsoka? Are we going to see her again? Because obviously we got the Ahsoka series coming up. What are we going to see? And obviously you saw some teasers from that, and there's some teasers that was leaked online if you guys have seen it. But we'll get into that one when it officially comes out a little bit more. But again, all this is tying in for something big. I really think we're going to see some, I hate to say it, but we're so far to the future with Star Wars. Some of these characters like Rogue One are going to get the axe at some point. Are we going to see, the death of Ahsoka? Are we going to see the death of Mando? Are we going to see, where's Baby Yoda during all this time? Like what? I'm sorry, I know I put that out there. Some people are probably going to hate me for that, but we got to know, And then the last thing is who saved him. We still want to know that answer. Hopefully, we get that this season, and going from there. So the next thing we're going to talk about, and some of you guys may notice, there was a new show that came out this week that was 3 episodes long, so we got a pretty good drop on it. I was pretty excited about it. I'd like to hear Travis and also anybody watching. I would love to hear your input on these episodes so far. But of course, we're talking about Andor. So I got my thoughts. I'm not dishing it yet, people. I'm still going to give it some time. But I'll hear what Travis thinks. I want to know what you think, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so my perspective on this one, again, we talked about this several weeks ago. I was really looking forward to Andor. Again, I like the character casting Andor. I like the more grounded level. Hey, what are average everyday people doing during these times outside of the standard, Jedi, big heroic sorts of things. So this series definitely seems to be, set right in my wheelhouse as far as things that I like. I will say I am very glad that they did push this back and instead release 3 episodes at once instead of one a week off, and then the third one, because it really, to me, I think takes all 3 episodes that released to really formulate a good introductory arc to the rest of the series, knowing that there's still 9 more episodes to go. With Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett being like 8 episodes long, people have complained about it being, filler episodes in both of those series to a degree as well. But each episode, I think, really progressed the story kind of in meaningful ways. With 12 episodes, they're able to take a little bit more time. And to me, especially in the second episode, it took maybe a little bit more time than I think they could have. It moved pretty slow. Again, I'm not going to come out and complain and say it's terrible, it's bad, because I'm a big proponent of story building and character building. And if it takes a while to tell the story, I'm going to watch all the way through. I'm not going to give up on it after a couple episodes. But it definitely was a lot slower moving series compared to what we're used to, which I think is intentional. You can tell this is building up something, with Tony Gilroy and, his background writing the Bourne movies and directing one of those as well. He's definitely telling this kind of unravel character history a little bit as you go, and then eventually get into kind of this, underground spy sort of a thriller.
Yeah. It definitely, like you said, I'm glad they did this in 3 episodes. To me, they took a while to get to where they needed to get. So I'm glad they did it all at once so we could get there, because I think with me, I know I would have been a little bit more disappointed if that was the first episode we got and that was what we got. I didn't want to wait for that next one. I wanted to see what was going on with this. It did have a slow start to it, and comment just came through here. Kind of a slow start, but visuals were awesome. Thinking it will get better. Want to see K2SO. Excuse me. I agree. I'm hoping we get to see K2SO because he's probably one of my favorite droids. But it did start off slow to me. It did have a good story tell. But the one thing I'm going to say right now, and I'm sorry, this isn't really going to spoil anything, but I learned this from the Book of Boba Fett. I hate flashbacks with a passion. And I think what they can do with flashbacks, if you could convert that to like the first episode and then move everything over to the right, I'd be okay with that, just so we can get that story. So, but other than that, I'm not writing it off yet. I'm not going. I think it's good. It's not. I don't have it at the great level yet, but it's still coming. But it's definitely a good watch. So give it a chance, everybody. When you're watching it, there's some stuff. I don't want to spoil it too much because it obviously just came out this week. So we don't want to dig in too much, and we'll do that thought next week on there. But without spoiling anything, give it a shot. It's good. Like I said, I'm not writing off yet, but I'm hoping that we'll see some more action, some more storyline that where I think it was going. I'm trying not to like tell people what happened yet, so it's kind of hard to do.
And I'm kind of following up on the comment there about the visuals. That was one thing that definitely stood out to me.
Yes.
This series, if people don't know, I mean, it's not a big secret or anything. They've talked about it, but this particular series, compared to other Star Wars series that they've done recently, this did not make use of the volume, which is this. If you watch the behind the scenes making of Mandalorian season 1, they did a whole episode on it. It's really cool from a technology perspective. Big virtual HD kind of arena that they go into. They throw up visuals on the wall. It's like make it look they're shooting anywhere kind of in the world, but they're just in their studio. This went kind of the more old school way with actual sets being built. I think they did a lot of it over in Scotland, if I remember right. Kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff early on. You can definitely tell it's got a more gritty. I hate that. That's such an old cliche word, gritty. Doesn't mean it's better, but it does have a more gritty kind of feel to it compared to some of the other series that they've done. I think because of that.
Yeah. So it's definitely we got a long ride to go, folks. This is going to be a long series. We know we've got a lot of episodes coming. So it did. I like the way the third one ended. Very exciting. So again, not going to spoil anything. I'll just warn you: be prepared for flashbacks. I will give you that one just because it annoys me for some reason. I think the Book of Boba Fett ruined flashbacks for me forever because they just how. I hate to say this, Book of Boba Fett, how poorly it was done, not leading to really what the story was about, I guess. So hopefully they learned their lesson, and this is leading to something bigger for us. So
one thing is, one thing too that I have to get your thoughts on, Greg, is at one point as I was watching the series, I thought to myself, if I did not know that this was a Star Wars series because it was called Star Wars Andor. If somebody said, "Hey, just watch this," I'd never seen Cassian Andor as a character before. There's really not a lot, at least in the first 3 episodes, it doesn't even really feel, for better or worse, to make your own opinions on it, but it doesn't even feel like a Star Wars movie, or it's even part of the Star Wars universe. There's some references to like the Empire, and outside of that, it looks like it could be almost any. It could be like a Blade Runner. It could be any kind of other sci-fi sort of series, which I think is kind of interesting. And maybe in a way it is kind of unique to see that coming into it's kind of come from a different angle than typical Star Wars stories.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. If you never watched Rogue One and didn't know who, Cassian Andor was or who he is, then you could go into this not knowing anything about Star Wars, and it's kind of like a new series. Very interesting how they did everything. You get to get a little, like you said that. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I just about did a little spoiler there. We'll talk about that next week. Sorry, folks. I caught myself on that, but there was something that indicated something Empire-ish. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, there wasn't a lot that really gave you that Star Wars feeling. So that's why
I can't remember, the last, Star Wars thing where you don't see like a stormtrooper or a clone trooper or some sort of person in white armor within the first, half hour of something.
So we'll see where it goes. Again, I'm excited I mean, come on, this is such a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Like, I don't care what some people and these trolls and everything. We've got so much content coming at us, and for somebody like myself, a little bit older, who's grown up with all this, we went so much time without anything, and then we got the prequel, we got everything, and then all of a sudden it's every day now. We get like a little 2 months gap, and then now we got Disney Plus, and there's so much out there, and I'm so thankful for it. It's a good time for us Star Wars fans, and even Marvel and everything else. We're getting so much content. I mean, there's nothing I truly hate, except for, okay, I lied. I'm not an anime fan, so Visions kind of went my way. But other than that, I mean, there were still a couple good episodes there. So, I mean, but God, what more can we ask for? And I know somebody will say the expanded universe and blah blah blah, but I mean, what do you think, Travis? I mean, are we getting too much, or is it just right for what everything's going on with right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think for now it feels about right. We're getting content, and then maybe a few small breaks in between to kind of regroup, so it doesn't feel like it's just oversaturated. Because that is the one thing, you made the reference to Marvel's starting to, in my opinion, not to get too far sidetracked from Star Wars content, but it's all Mickey Mouse, it's all Disney.
Yeah.
So I hope Star Wars to a degree maybe learns from what Marvel's, I think, misstepping a little bit, because they're really oversaturated, I think, to a degree, with so many TV shows and so many films and stuff all crammed together. It doesn't seem to be a direct they had in like phase 1, phase 2, leading up to like Avengers and Thanos and all the Infinity War stuff. This latest, I mean, I still enjoy the Marvel stuff, but it's kind of out there in limbo. Doesn't seem to have a really clear direction yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kevin Feige will come out in the future and it all suddenly makes sense. So I do hope that Star Wars will kind of keep this momentum going and capitalize on it, but not overdo it with too many like extra spin-off series and things, and really detract away from the really good storytelling they've done. And I hinted at it earlier when I talked about the Rogue Squadron movie basically just being in limbo. I'm still waiting for them to have some sort of strategy when it comes to the feature film portion of Star Wars, because that's a big thing for fans, and we're going to be quite a ways out, I think, from anything actually coming out.
Yeah. So yeah, it's. I definitely hope we get something in the movies soon, because there's nothing like going to the movie theaters. I mean, for those that got to go to the IMAX to see Rogue One, I know I got to see it during the surprise last year on Disney Plus Day. It's definitely, and then seeing Empire Strikes Back, I got to see that 3 times in the theater, during the COVID time. So it was just seeing a Star Wars film on the theater is a different experience than sitting at home and watching everything. So hopefully we get that back and get to enjoy those theater nights on opening, and really getting that Star Wars feeling back, because there's nothing like it. So I know Dave Filoni, I know you're not listening, but for some reason you hear this message, bring something to the theater soon. All right. I'm counting on you, Dave Filoni, no one else. But
I mean, heck, after season 3 of Mandalorian comes out, just package it all together and do as a film, just show in the theaters first, so we at least see something on the big screen. It's a like I said, it's a different experience to see the big screen with the sound system and everything compared to at home.
Yeah. So again, we won't go any more into Andor, because I know it's only a couple days old, and 3 episodes. It's a lot to watch in a short time. So we'll dig into Andor more next week. But then maybe next week I'll get back into this, what really grinds my gears. So we'll start doing what grinds Greg gears. I'll try to animate that and put my face on there or something to have some fun with it. But flashbacks, get away with it, Star Wars. We're done. I'm done with flashbacks. All right. Or just do one quick one and be done. All right. That's my grind my gears for this week. But other than that, we got some awesome stuff coming up. Obviously, I said Cincinnati Comic-Con's coming up this week. If you're a Star Wars fan, there's going to be a lot of great guests there. Make sure you check it out. I know all the Boba Fett actors are going to be there. I just blanked out. Robert Watts is going to be there. So you're going to have Kim Simmons is going to be there. A lot of great Star Wars guests for Cincinnati. Cincinnati usually is pretty good with our Star Wars guests there. Then I'll be heading to New York. Surprise. I know I didn't think I was going to go. But exciting that I have a chance to go again. This will be my third consecutive New York, so I'm pretty excited about that. I know they're still adding Freddie Prinze Jr. canceled. I know he was supposed to be there, so sorry for the Canon people that wanted to see him. But Poe Dameron,
Oscar Isaac.
Thank you, Oscar Isaac. Oh my gosh. He's going to be there. So, there's going to be some good Star Wars stuff there. And obviously, just got some emails today of some things that we might get to talk about. I know Topps is doing some more stuff with Star Wars. Dark Horse will probably be there. There's going to be a lot of stuff Star Wars related coming out of New York. So I'm pretty excited, what's going on there. From there, Steel City Comic-Con's coming up in December in Pittsburgh. I can't remember the guest list right off the top of my head. I do believe there are a couple Star Wars guests there. And the same with Columbus in December as well. I don't remember the dates. I'll get those up on the site. And obviously you can check on the feature post, where I usually try to put all the conventions around the area. And then for those who's venturing out to Rhode Island, again, a massive show, ton of guests, a lot of Star Wars guests and everything there. So last thing we're going to talk about tonight, guys. Obviously, you guys know I've been dealing with some health issues, so things have been kind of pushed back a little bit. The great thing is that the charity auction is still going on. Don't worry, we're going to be having that. It is going to take place towards the end of October, tomorrow. If you're watching this now, so that way you guys can quote me on it. Tomorrow, the official date and flyer will go up for the auction. And then I will actually do a special show kind of going over some of the stuff that we have for the auction and how it's going to work, how we're going to set up the link for it and everything else. So we're going to do things a little bit different this year to help save time for us, especially when it comes to shipping and everything. It'll be, the good thing is right now we don't have glasses that we're doing too, because that was a pain to ship, but I really want to bring the glasses will be back, folks. Don't worry. If you like the glasses, they will be back. But that is coming up at the end of October. The charity auction will be happening. I got a few more donations that are supposed to be heading this way. So I'm pretty excited about that. Other than that, guys, we want to thank you all tonight. We're glad to be back. We will be back again next week. Day to be determined. Travis, you got anything else for this show?
No, just really exciting times. Like you said, we got Andor, which, again, I think is started a little slow, but really picked up there. So if you haven't watched it yet, be sure to don't give up. Go ahead and treat all 3 episodes, watch them straight through, and treat it like one long episode, because it tells a kind of cohesive kind of prologue, I think, to introduce what's going to come in the rest of the series. And then the D23 news with all those trailers. Go back, watch them again. I've watched them several times and just get excited. And anybody's going to be out at Cincinnati, let us know if you're going to be there. Hopefully we'll run into some friendly faces out there. And what a time to be a Star Wars fan.
It is. Again, thank you everybody who stuck with us tonight. We'll be back in a groove here, hopefully for a while. Again, I want to thank, all this is possible because of our sponsors, TRG Toys and Collectibles. Again, check them out, trgtoys.com. And also, again, you'll see our ending little film here at the end of the, all this is also possible thanks to our friends at the Hashtag Show. Travis and I try to write as much as we can and get some great information out there for you all. And you can follow us again at our handles right. I get it wrong every time. Right down here somewhere. I'll just point everywhere. Follow our handles there. I can't wait to see you all next week. Can't wait to talk more Star Wars. Can't wait for Tales of the Jedi, Mandalorian Season 3, Ahsoka. I am probably missing something else, but it's all coming. So it's exciting time. And again, like always, until next time, may the Force be with you.